Hello, everybody. My name is Roy Nemer of Wrestleview.com. This is the SmackDown Post Show number 20. Yes, it is number 20. We've reached it's a pretty big milestone, in my opinion. I hope everybody's doing well. I see a couple of people in the chat already. I see Andrew. I see Jorge. I see Gil's fan. A couple of people in there. So hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. It was a pretty eventful SmackDown. We got some new faces on the show. We had some news before the show, and we're going to get right to it. Andrew, hello. Andrew, he says, hi, Tribal Chief Roy. Hello, Andrew. Jorge Oliveira, first one, says, let's be clear, it's not the wrestlers. They just execute the shit scripts. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. And before we actually get to the show or to tonight's show, let's get to the news that broke earlier today, and that is the news regarding Bayley. So Bayley's injured. One of their stars in the women's division, no doubt about it, alongside Bianca Belair on SmackDown. She's out for at least 9 months, and this is not a storyline. It's not a script. She is actually injured. Per reports, torn ACL potentially. So that is a big hit for the WWE, big hit for SmackDown, especially considering they're going back on the road next week. This is a big one. Mashoon's in the chat as well. Hello, Mashoon. How are you, buddy? He says, happy, thank God it's Friday, Roy. Yes, and still no. I'm not going to mention her name, right? It's like, what is it, like the boogeyman, right? We're not going to say the name 3 times. So yes, a Gil's fan, regarding Bayley's injury, that does suck. It really does, because I like her. I like Bayley. I like what they're doing with Bianca, that whole feud. And at one point we were all talking about it, potential hair versus hair match and everything. Not the case. And actually, Andrew, I thought about this during the show. Andrew mentions will not be back until maybe WrestleMania. So that is a big one. So no Bayley, not at SummerSlam, not at Survivor Series, not at the Rumble, potentially maybe WrestleMania. But if she's back for WrestleMania, will she even have something, or will they have her as a host or as a co-host, similar to what they did this year when they gave her a couple of spots here and there throughout both nights? Quentin, yes, absolutely. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Trust me, it's worth it. And hit the subscribe button. We're here a couple of times a week. And now with fans back in attendance, it's only going to get better. Trust me. So hit that subscribe button. Definitely. Jorge says, let's bring this up on the screen here. Here we go. Bayley he wishes Bayley a speedy recovery. She's a bright spot in the women's division. Absolutely is. She held that women's division together on SmackDown all of last year. And it sucks, it really, really sucks. But these things happen, and it sucks even more that, it happened during training. Apparently, she was training at the Performance Center when it happened. It's not like it was during a match itself, which I guess in a way makes it that much worse. Gil's fan, that's a good one. Gil's fan says, her knee gave out after carrying the women's division through the pandemic area. Oof, that's a good one. That is a good one. And Geocatcher, hello, Geocatcher Ken, how are you, buddy? Hope you're well. Geocatcher says, hopefully she still stays on camera like they're doing with The Miz. That would be cool. It feels like they're gonna do that. We did get a little Bayley segment or promo that was pre-recorded. So you know what? If they could have her maybe do like some commentary backstage, or even every now and then some commentary ringside or anything like that, that could be cool. And she could even be like the ultimate heel, where she could say what she wants and even do what she wants. And she could tell the talent, oh, you can't touch me, I'm injured, like I'll sue you or something, So they could potentially turn this into a storyline, and into a pretty good storyline, especially in the women's division, because as we've mentioned the past couple of weeks, the women's division needs it. They need the boost. And they got some new faces, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. Gil's fan, there you go. Perhaps Bayley can borrow Johnny Ace's People Power trolley. Yes. And Andrew, going to have to make some big-time call-ups for both shows in the women's divisions. Yeah, and we're going to get to that in just a little bit. Jorge mentions about how Big E wore Bayley tribute T-shirt. I missed that, or maybe like I remember seeing it, but I guess it didn't really click. It didn't really click in my mind, so I might have to go back and watch it. So that was Bayley. Let's get to it. A lot to get to. Money in the Bank next week. We have one more SmackDown before the big show, and this was the last SmackDown at the Performance Center at the Thunderdome. So as of next week, we will get fans back in attendance. I haven't checked the ticket sales. If you guys want to, leave a comment, let me know if there is any news regarding the ticket sales. I haven't taken a look. I'll be honest, so I don't quite remember. But next week's show is in front of a crowd, which means next week's show will be graced by the tribal chief himself, Roman Reigns. And it was Roman Reigns that started tonight's show. So Roman Reigns kicked off the show. He was not on SmackDown last week, and he even mentioned it, right? So Roman Reigns comes out to the ring, and he says, a lot of people did not like the fact that I wasn't on SmackDown last week, but there were a few things that I didn't like last week too. And he just cuts a promo kind of, cutting through Edge and saying about how Edge is a liar and he's not afraid of Edge. And, I like that little bit from Roman where he says, maybe for about 10 seconds or 20 seconds, maybe there was some fear or some doubt. And then he looks at Heyman and he tells me, you could ask Brock Lesnar. He's a real fighter. And that was a nice little play by Roman. I like that. But very, very good promo by Roman Reigns. We say this every single week. Every single time Roman cuts a promo, it's the same thing, right? Great promo by Roman Reigns. Excellent promo by Roman Reigns. And Gil's Fan, thank you for this. So Gil's Fan writes, about 800 people short of a sellout. That's not too bad. That is really, really not too bad. Andrew says, last I heard they haven't been doing great. I know they added some more cities to the list, but no Memphis yet. So maybe if they do get to Memphis, we'll be seeing Andrew in attendance. But there you go, Jorge. That's a good question. Is there going to be full attendance? A mask mandate? Delta variant is growing fast. That's a very good question. I'm not sure. I remember reading about Madison Square Garden, their show on MSG, about how fans in attendance have to present a vaccination card or some sort of proof. So it's going to be interesting what they do. It's going to be very, very interesting what they do. And look, talking about interesting, Roman Reigns, tribal chief. So very good promo by him. And he says, well, talking about family and outcomes, Jimmy Uso. And, Jimmy tells him, well, I was taking care of business because you were on vacation. And Roman says, well, what do you mean vacation? If someone here deserves vacation, it's me. But I wasn't on vacation. I was actually doing your job. And out comes Jey Uso. So Jey is back in the mix, back in the fold. All three guys end up hugging it out. It looks like they're on the same page. They start the show on the same page. They end the show on the same page. And I'll be honest, I liked it. I liked a lot of what I saw from Roman Reigns, Jimmy, and Jey Uso tonight. I really thought they could do no wrong. As for next week's show in Texas, Andrew mentions no rules in Texas. So don't expect, I'm guessing, right? Don't expect too many people, I guess, wearing masks next week. So I guess every city has its own protocols, right? Every city has its own protocols. So that was the start of the show. Very good promo. All three guys end up hugging it out. So they're all on the same page. All is good in the Samoan dynasty. All is good with the Samoan family. So I tweeted out, I said, great start to SmackDown. The Samoan dynasty is what they are going with, and it will only get better moving forward. Let me know, what did you guys think of the opening segment? I'll give you guys a couple of seconds, couple of moments, gather your thoughts, leave a comment, let me know. What do you guys think about Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso? Let me know what you guys thought about that. And as you guys do that, I'm just going to grab a little drink of water right here. All right, Andrew says it was a good promo. Absolutely, right? You can't really go wrong with Roman Reigns these days. Really not. At all. All right, after that, we had a Money in the Bank qualifying match. And, but before I get to that, Jorge, gracias, amigo. And Gil's fan, I was surprised they did not turn on Jimmy and send him packing. I feel like we might get that soon, but probably from Roman, not from Jay. And I feel, well, maybe not soon, but ultimately, I think when they do break up that Samoan family, I think it's going to be Roman turning on one of them and the tag teams stick together. My opinion. We'll see. We'll see. After that, we got the Money in the Bank qualifying match for like the 8th time in 2 weeks. Shinsuke Nakamura, or King Nakamura, gets the win against Baron Corbin, and they are really making Baron Corbin look. I'm not going to say bad because I get it's the character, but he's just getting demolished out there. They have him growing his beard, and it's kind of like a 5 o'clock shadow almost, and he doesn't look good. You know, they're trying to make him look, you know, kind of worn out and tired and stressed. And he's playing the role very well, if I'm being honest. I think he's doing well. But I could have done without this match. It was very, you know, the outcome was very, very obvious considering what they're doing with Corbin and the high that Nakamura's on. There was, you know, I don't think there was any doubt as to who would win this one. It was always going to be Nakamura. My question is, why did we get this again? Like, we could have gotten I don't know, Nakamura against someone else, and Corbin tries to interfere and it backfires on him. We could have gotten a bunch of different scenarios. Instead, we got Nakamura versus Corbin for the 10th time on SmackDown the past 2 months. Daniel, hello. Daniel is there. Thank you for joining us, Daniel. Yeah, Gil's fan, no more Kingsuke. No more Kingsuke. Andrew, so Corbin's a loser, sack now. That's pretty much what they're going with. And the thing with this character is that it's a very dangerous road that they're going on with Corbin, because when you go down this road, it's very, very difficult to change it up and have him come back, because they're really making him look bad, losing every match, getting embarrassed every match. So unless they send him over to Raw, or, I don't know, send him to NXT and just have him completely dominate over there, this is going to take a while before Corbin kind of, you know, comes back stronger. Jorge asks, will they turn Corbin into a face? It looks like that's what they're trying to do. It truly looks like it. It looks like they're trying to turn Corbin face, you know, trying to get us to feel bad about it, to feel bad for him, and just to feel bad about his entire situation. I'm not sure if it's working. Like, would you guys buy Corbin as a face? Let me know. Leave a comment. Would you guys buy Baron Corbin as a face, or does he just have that look, that heel look, that no matter what he does, he could never be face? Let me know. Let me know. Gil's fan, and then he will apparently become Happy Corbin. That's not going to be good, because you know that's what they're going to try and get to, and that's not going to be good at all. Daniel asks, please tell me we're done with Money in the Bank qualifying matches next week. We're done this week. This was it. No more Money in the Bank qualifying matches next week. All 8 superstars, and I say superstars, but all 8 wrestlers. I don't even know what they're calling them these days, performers. But yes, all 8 guys are confirmed for the match. No more Money in the Bank qualifiers. If I'm not mistaken, it's completely over for Raw. Tonight was it for SmackDown, so no more matches. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, because I'm pretty confident, but I guess Gil's fan just said no, so we'll see. We'll see. I'll check that. Andrew, the only way it could work is have him go off television, but you cannot do that with such a thin roster. Absolutely. So they're kind of putting themselves into a corner right now. They just cornered themselves with that. Gil's fan, there's still 1 spot each. Can someone check that for me, please? Or I'll check it out. I could if you guys don't want to. We'll see. But I'm pretty sure I heard Michael Cole say it's done. We know all 8 superstars. But I don't know, with the way WWE is and their commentary sometimes, could be wrong. Andrew, here you go. Andrew, I think he's just more of a heel. Like, The Miz is not that great as a face. Yeah, you have some guys that just have that natural heel look, and you have some guys that have that natural baby face look. And Corbin falls in that natural heel look. He has that face that, and I don't mean this personally, right? But like the character itself, he just has that face you just want to punch. You don't like. You know, and good for him, it's because it suits the character. But there's no way I could ever buy Baron Corbin as a face at all. Andrew, I think they're all filled. Yes, Money in the Bank. Exactly. Jorge, gracias, amigo. So confirming all Money in the Bank spots are filled. Only 8 spots in the match this year. There you go. Quinton, yes, Corbin has a face that you'll want to slap. He does not have a face. He does not have a baby face. Daniel, still have a feeling they might replace Riddle with Orton. Man, who knows what they're doing on Raw? I don't even think they know what they're doing on Raw. But this would not surprise me if somehow they feel like, hey, we don't want Riddle in there. He got the qualifier. We're going to put Orton in there. I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. And maybe that's the start of the end of RK Bro. Maybe it's like planting the seed for it. I don't know. Janelle. Hello, Janelle. Thank you for joining. Janelle writes, some people are not too happy that it's Carmella fighting Bianca Belair next Friday. Yes, and we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in just a couple of moments. Andrew, Women's Money in the Bank still open. And there you go, Gil's fan. Your mistake. That's fine. It happens. So the men's completely filled. Women still has 2 spots. Speaking about the women, so we got 2 new faces on SmackDown. Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox from NXT make their debut, on SmackDown. So the way this kind of happened was before they went to commercial, they showed a graphic and it was Tamina and Natalya up against, and that was it. They didn't know. So Tamina and Natalya come out and, they cut a promo about how they were told they're going to face a new tag team that no one has ever seen before. What? A new tag team that no one has ever seen before. These guys are on NXT. If you watch them 3 days ago, 3 days ago, they're pretty much on top. I don't understand. Anyways, so it ends up being Shotzi and Tegan Nox. They get the win in a botch-filled match. In a match, you could tell they were just trying to get their spots over. And don't get me wrong, I'm not angry by any means or disappointed. Quite the opposite, that we got 2 new faces on SmackDown, because we mentioned it a couple of minutes ago. We mentioned it on every show. The women's roster is thin. They need to beef it up and they need to add more names, and they are, and that's what they're doing, and that's great. That's really, really good. And I'm not trying to hate on it by any means. Absolutely not. But that match was avoidable. Just avoid that match. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. So many bad spots. So many bad spots. At one point, you had Natalya about to go for the cover. I can't remember on who. I want to say it was on Nox. She had Nox down, literally, and she's about to go for the cover. But before she goes for the cover, she looks up to see, I'm guessing it was Blackheart attacking Tamina. And she's just watching her attack Tamina. And then when she's done attacking Tamina, then she goes for the cover, only for Blackheart to break it up. It was such a mess. It was such a mess. So bad. And I'm really not trying to shit on them. Absolutely not. Again, it was their SmackDown debut. They're probably nervous and everything, but it was so bad. So bad. But enough about me, or enough about this. Let's take a look at your comments here. Daniel, talk to me in 6 months where Tegan Nox will be. Talk to me in 6 months where any of these women will be. Not just Nox. Unfortunately. Andrew, I think they were initially attacking before Tegan got injured. Gil, so is the Tegan Candice NXT feud done already? Man, they don't even know. You really, really think SmackDown Creative has any clue what's going on NXT? They barely even know what's happening on SmackDown. And I'm willing to bet they don't even know what's going on Raw. You're asking too much. You're asking way too much, Gil's fan. Way too much. Quentin, that match had me drown in my toilet water. That's a new one, but yeah, it was that bad. It was that bad. Daniel, she won't even make it 6 months before she starts botching and being the shitter like the rest of the women's division. Unfortunately, it's what you're saying is correct. Unfortunately. And I'm not trying to shit on any of these performers by any means, because this falls on creative, and Unfortunately, given Creative's track record recently, it's going to happen that way. That's really going to happen. Jorge, women's division needs to unify the titles and maybe create a women's US or intercontinental title for the mid-carders. Look, I'm inclined to agree. Like, a part of me thinks that maybe the women need a secondary title just so that we could have something for someone that's not feuding for the main women's title. But the women's division is so thin and bad that it would really just be horrible to give them a second title. I'm not saying they don't deserve it. It's not the talent. I'm fully bashing Creative here, not talent by any means. But you cannot give them a secondary title. They don't even know what they're doing with the 3 titles they have. They don't know what they're doing with the Raw title. They don't know what they're doing with, SmackDown title maybe. And they don't know what they're doing with the tag team titles. They really don't. Absolutely not. Andrew, bet they just got called up today. More than likely. Like 5 hours ago. Daniel, I have no faith in WWE's women division whatsoever, even with Alexa Bliss. They had such a good character with Alexa Bliss, and then they threw her with the Fiend. And the less said about that, the better. Andrew says Creative doesn't even know NXT and NXT UK exist. Or NXT and NXT UK don't exist. That's true. Apparently, according to them, they probably don't exist at all. Jorge says, doesn't think it's bad writing, it's just lazy writing. Yes, but one kind of goes with the other. Like, if it's lazy writing tends to lead to bad writing. But I get what you mean. And Gil's fan says, I can't wait for Walter to show up and Corey pretending not to know who he is. Yeah, we're going to get another big guy, and it's going to be like, oh my God, who is this? We've never seen this guy. He's going to fight Omos, who we've never seen before. It's going to be a shit fest. Andrew, the Fiend kills everything. See, it's not a coincidence. And initially, I liked the Fiend character, by the way. Initially. And kind of do now, but I mean, what they're doing is horrible. But there's a reason why the second they got the Fiend off SmackDown started doing so much better. And it's not just because of Roman. I'm talking about in general. Like, there's a reason for it. There is a reason for it. Everything the Fiend touches, and this is on Creative, it's not on Bray Wyatt, but everything the Fiend touches turns to shit. Regarding Walter, Andrew, they'll change Walter's name to Bill. Like, oh my God, who's this big guy called Bill? Gil's fan, can the Fiend feud with Vince? Ooh, that's a little harsh and dark. Eesh. Andrew, regarding the Fiend, it's like the character just does not fit in for wrestling. It doesn't. Initially, it felt like it could have. Like, it was cool when he debuted on SummerSlam versus what's his name? Finn Balor. When he debuted versus Finn Balor, and it was cool. It was everything. It went downhill after that. It really went downhill. Jorge, do you think Carmella gets these opportunities because she's Corey Graves' girlfriend? I don't think so. I think Carmella gets the opportunity because there's no one else on SmackDown that, and this is not my opinion, I'm honestly judging this based off literally what they're saying. I think Carmella gets this opportunity for 2 reasons. One, she's probably been in the company the longest on SmackDown, aside from Natalya and Tamina. On SmackDown, the veteran on the show is Carmella. That's number 1. And number 2, I think they're going with her. Part of it is it's because how could I put this? Because there's no one else. And I'm trying to say this without sounding shallow because it's not my intention. I just feel like this is how Vince thinks. I feel like Carmella is getting this chance now because of how she looks. They are on Fox. She's pretty easy on the eye, to say the least. And I think that combined with, the lack of talent, and she is good in the ring. And I think all of that combined together is why she got the opportunity. I don't really think it has much to do with Corey Graves, but I could be wrong. Let's take a look here. So regarding Walter and the Fiend, Quinton, can Walter slap the living crap out of the Fiend? Yeah, but the Fiend will no-sell it. Just like he no-sold the 40 curb stomps by Seth and the 10 chair shots by Seth at Hell in a Cell. Yeah. Andrew, thank God Corey's not on SmackDown, or we'd hear him going nuts for Carmella. You know, when Corey was on SmackDown, I enjoyed him. I don't mind Corey Graves. I think he's pretty cool. He's pretty good. But Pat McAfee, shit. Pat McAfee, the best commentator they have, be it Raw or SmackDown or maybe even NXT. Pat McAfee is the greatest commentator. That is the best commentator they have in the company right now. And I'm not even joking. I'm saying this like very honestly. McAfee is the best guy they got. He's ridiculous, but not too ridiculous, because he's like, it's a believable ridiculous. Like, holy crap. I loved what they did with him and Big E earlier tonight with the couch and everything. I thought it was funny. It was entertaining. He's not over the top, at least not yet. At least not yet. And hopefully he stays like this. Hopefully. Gil's fan, we get Pat marking out for Nakamura, which is an upgrade. It is. And it, you know, not only does it add to the show, but it adds to the Nakamura character, and he needs that. So it does help in every single way. Andrew, exactly. He gets what he's supposed to be and does it. That's exactly it with Pat McAfee. Yes, very, very well said, Andrew. Jorge, Pat Big Daddy McAfee is the bomb. He's good. Like, every single week, there's something going on with him. Every single week. Daniel, he sold that main event segment like a champ. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. I'm really going to have to go back and watch that. I recorded SmackDown tonight, which I don't normally do, but I recorded it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to watch his reactions. His reactions are gold. He's really, really good. Gil's fan, he's the only commentator that I actually believe. Quinton, I'm in love with Pat McAfee. He's the new Mojo. But like not an annoying one, you know? Not an annoying one. So good for him. All right, let's keep it going. After that, so we spoke a little bit about Bayley at the very, very start of the show. And then we got this segment. So Bianca Belair, Carmella, and Liv Morgan. And I mean, I guess some Sonya Deville thrown in there. So Sonya comes out and says, okay, well, Bayley can't make it. She's injured, 9 months. She's out. We see a Bayley promo. And then she says the replacement, the person who's going to replace Bianca Belair will be Carmella. However, Bianca will not be defending her WWE SmackDown Women's Championship at Money in the Bank. Instead, she's going to be defending it next week live in Austin, Texas. And that's going to be versus Carmella. So we're getting Bianca Belair versus Carmella for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship next week on SmackDown, which, sure, cool, why not? You know, fans are back, big title match, whatever it is. That's cool, that works. I'm not expecting a new champion at all. I'd be very surprised if we got that. But cool to see, good to watch. Liv Morgan comes out and goes apeshit. She says, well, I don't get it. You know, Sonya, you keep handpicking Carmella. What is this? Why? How come? This and that. And she gets in Sonya's face. And you kind of almost get that feeling of we're going to somehow get Sonya back in the ring and it's going to be against Liv Morgan. And I would have maybe liked to have seen something like that where, or maybe we might still get it, where Sonya throws herself in the Money in the Bank match and wins it. That would be very cool to see. So like someone of, and I know we've gotten it before and all that stuff, but if done properly, someone of authority like Sonya with the Money in the Bank briefcase could make for some good television. But anyways, maybe it's just me, but I know, you know, it always looks like that's what we're going to get. And yes, Gil's fan, very good question. He says, are we ever going to find out why Sonya has a problem with Liv? That's a very good question, because it appears that she has something out for her. We just don't know what it is, at least not yet. Daniel, it's wrestling, Roy. It doesn't have to make sense. That's true. Andrew, That was interesting with Sonya telling Liv if you would not shut up and if you don't get out of here in 30 seconds, and started counting down how long Liv would stayed. Again, I feel like we're going to get this feud. And if we do get this feud, I guess in a way they're building it up properly. We just have to know why Sonya hates Liv so much. That's the only thing that we need for this feud to make sense. But like Daniel said, it's wrestling. Doesn't have to make sense, right? Andrew, interesting if they are pushing a future feud with Sonya and Liv if she comes back to wrestling. Yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to see Sonya in the ring again. I have no clue. It'd be cool to maybe have Mandy Rose back on SmackDown and not have her do, I think she's with Dana Brooke on Raw, I think. But hey, maybe it could be cool to have Mandy back in there and they could kind of continue their feud. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here. I'm just trying to think of any single way to make this women's division slightly more interesting than it already is. But hey, we got 2 new faces. We're getting Toni Storm as well. That's going to be showing up on SmackDown. I don't remember them specifying when Toni Storm is going to be on SmackDown. It could be next week, could be after. I really don't know. Maybe I missed it. Let me know. But yeah, so we're getting, we got 2 new faces tonight. Toni Storm, that's 3 already, which almost doubles what we have on SmackDown already. And Andrew, maybe because Liv stole that lesbian angle from Sonya. Who knows? Oof. I mean, look, the way creative goes, they probably don't even know that there was some sort of lesbian thing going on. And you know what? I hope not. Andrew, Tony Legs Day Storm. All right. So Liv is thrown into the Money in the Bank match. Bianca Belair versus Carmella next week on SmackDown for the Women's Championship. Hey, you know what? I'll give him a pass on this. I don't think it's the worst idea in the world, especially considering that Bayley is actually injured, and this probably for once was a proper last-minute decision and not a last-minute decision that they threw on themselves. This was forced. So good on them, because this, it's not easy. I know someone said, I believe it was Andrew. Andrew tweeted out, if I'm not mistaken, what if it's Becky Lynch? Becky Lynch comes back and replaces Carmella. I feel like they're going to save the Becky Lynch announcement for at least next week, right, when there are fans. And I think that's what we're going to get. I think we will get Becky Lynch showing up next week after Bianca gets the pin versus Carmella or defeats Carmella. I think Becky Lynch comes out, and that sets up their feud for SummerSlam. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. In my opinion, it would be a little bit too soon because Bianca's really on a high, and Becky Lynch just coming back. You feel like she's going to be on a high. I would keep the title on Bianca for now. So, hey, I'm just thinking out loud, but I think that's what we get. Andrew. Oh, okay, so Andrew says WWE is not creative in terms of giving Toni Storm the leg day nickname, right? So that's what I think we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get Becky Lynch that shows up next week after the women's match, and and we end up getting her and Bianca at SummerSlam. Maybe. Who knows? All right. Speaking of Becky Lynch, it's her husband, Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins gets the win versus Cesaro. A very physical match, a very bloody match. Cesaro cut open. Money in the Bank qualifier once more. And again, it's a match we've gotten at like 40 times already. This feud never seems to end. They said this was going to end like 3 weeks ago, a month ago. It did not. It was supposed to end at Hell in a Cell. It did not. It was supposed to end 2 weeks ago. It did not. It's just not. It's never ending. At least now it looks like they're probably getting Seth Rollins, moving on from Cesaro. I hope so, hopefully. But Seth gets the win. I'm not going to say a pretty convincing win, but I like the way that they did it. They used the whole spot where Cesaro was cut open. There was one botch by was it Charles Robinson, the referee? I believe it was Charles Robinson. When Seth exposed the turnbuckle, he went for the cover, and the referee he just kept looking at the turnbuckle pad and the exposed ring post. And he didn't go for the cover right away. He waited like 5 seconds, legit, and you could actually see both guys looking at the referee like, "Hey, are you gonna count or what?" So this was bad. That part was bad. Everything else about the match was cool. It was good. It was fine. But it's just something we've gotten like 10 billion times already. Enough's enough. And yeah. Daniel, this was actually a good match. I can see Rollins being the favorite for Money in the Bank. It was a good match, as we've gotten it a bunch of times already. That's my only problem with this. And they are building up. In my opinion, I think if it's not Seth, it's going to be Drew McIntyre that wins the Money in the Bank. I don't know who needs it more. Obviously, Raw needs it more. Needs the Money in the Bank winner to come from them because that show is borderline atrocious. And that's me putting it mildly. It's really bad. They need the champion to come from there, but it might make more sense to have Seth win it. But then again, maybe Seth doesn't need it. Maybe they just catapult Seth and keep pushing him forward to the point where there's no one else. And hey, you have Seth versus Roman at not at WrestleMania, but maybe Survivor Series or something. But again, if it's not Seth on SmackDown, I think it's going to be Drew McIntyre on Raw. Gills fan, I tweeted about this or similar. Gills fan says, so Cesaro lost a feud to Seth, back to mid-card obscurity, I guess. That's the thing. They pushed Cesaro, and I really feel like he should have won this match. He really could have benefited a lot from this match. He could have won Money in the Bank, or at least had a great showing where even if he doesn't win, he still looks good. He did not look bad coming out of this match because they played the whole, he was busted open and Seth beat him up and this and that. So that's fine. But now it's truly, what are they going to do with Cesaro? This is the big thing now. What are they going to do with Cesaro? Because he's not in the Money in the Bank. They pushed him at one point. That hype is dying down if it hasn't already died down. They got to figure something out for him. Jorge, here we go. Jorge, I was surprised because of two things. The ref took the gloves out and never put them on. That is very true. When Cesaro was outside of the ring, the referee had the gloves in his back pocket, had it in his right hand, never put them on. That's very true. They showed all that blood and never cleaned it up after the commercial break. I think Fox approved it. I think maybe Fox saw how low the ratings have been and how low they've been getting. And they're like, look, just give us something different. And maybe the blood, they're like, hey, if it brings in more viewers, go for it. That's a very, very good point. Very valid point. I did not think of that. Maybe it was Fox. Andrew writes, well, when Daniel left, Cesaro lost his biggest supporter in creative. Also true. Yes, when Daniel Bryan got left, when he's gone, Cesaro's just kind of been going downhill, which sucks. It's sad to see because he showed what he can do. He got a big win at WrestleMania, but since then, like I said, not too good. Let's take a look here. Daniel writes, Seth versus Edge, Seth versus Roman, Seth versus Bobo. Those are your second half storylines for 2021. Seth versus Edge, I think we get for SummerSlam. I think the writing is kind of on the wall for that one. I think that's what we get, especially after tonight's promo. I don't know who wins. My guess is Seth. And then we probably get Seth versus Roman in the fall, and then who knows what leading into the Royal Rumble. Daniel, and Seth versus Drew. I don't know if we'll get Seth versus Drew. Drew is needed on... I'm not going to say Drew is needed on SmackDown because Raw needs him more, but Drew's character and what the hell they're doing right now, you got to change it. Put Drew McIntyre on SmackDown. Send Roman to Raw. Let Roman be like, look, I conquered SmackDown. There's nothing for me here. I'm going to Raw. And then you get McIntyre going the other way. That could be the boost that Raw needs. At least it would have something to something else to watch. Thing is, in order for them to do that, you need You need Lashley to lose the title unless you send Lashley to SmackDown as well. Because obviously they're not going to have both champions on Raw, not have anyone on SmackDown. Jorge, you think some wrestlers need a face manager to help them with their mic skills and get them over? Yes. But I feel like most of them are on Raw more than SmackDown. But definitely, Cesaro is the biggest one. Cesaro needs a mouthpiece. Cesaro needs a manager, someone to speak for him. To a certain degree, Daniel Bryan on air was that. Cesaro would have a match, and sometimes Daniel Bryan would be doing commentary. I did not understand. I understand why, but it didn't really make much sense why they had Big E doing commentary tonight, why they had Kevin Owens doing commentary tonight. I'm guessing it was for Money in the Bank because they're all involved in that match. I'm guessing, but I don't recall them ever giving some sort of explanation. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed it, but it could just be me. Randy, what's up, Randy? How are you, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Randy writes, Seth Wrestleview, who was speaking at Seth backstage? Seth Rollins back. It was Kayla. Kayla Braxton was backstage. Daniel, you can have Rollins win Money in the Bank and have him cash in on Drew if he ever wins the title again. A Seth versus Drew feud, I mean, as long as it's not the annoying Seth, it could be good. But they got to send Drew over to SmackDown, in my opinion. Enough of this goofy stuff that they're doing with him on Raw. They got to switch him up. Randy Cedric needs a manager. Cesaro and Pat McAfee. That'd be cool. That'd be really, really nice. That'd be really, really nice. Someone was speaking at Seth backstage when he said, yes, I won. So I'm assuming, Randy, you're talking about the person. There was someone really kind of like in the shadows and like I think at one point in the elevator. I think there was just someone from the building itself. I don't think that was related to the storylines. Gil's fan, Michael Hayes came out of the lift during his interview. So it was Michael Hayes. There you go. Because I was kind of watching and recapping at the same time. So I saw someone come out of, I guess, the elevator, the lift. So I guess it is Michael Hayes. It is Michael Hayes. Selena and Cesaro. See, no Selena tonight. She comes back last week. Nothing tonight. They mentioned her. They mentioned about how she was there last week, but nothing tonight. So no momentum. I don't know if that's because her husband showed up on AEW 2 days ago. I don't think it is. I just think it's creative that doesn't know what they're doing with her. But yeah, no Selena. Jorge, I heard that there will be a draft after SummerSlam. If they do that, then we will get a good sense for all titles moving forward. I hope we do get one because we need one. This show needs, both shows, need a shakeup. SmackDown significantly better than Raw, but still the ratings are going down. Obviously, Fox cannot be too happy with what we're getting. Andrew writes, Drew could win Money in the Bank and cash in on Roman, but probably on Bobby Lashley, though. I don't know how they're going to play it if Drew wins, because technically he cannot cash it in on Lashley. So unless Lashley loses the title and that same match, Drew cashes it in, I don't know. But I would like to see Drew on SmackDown. And Quentin, yes, thank you, Quentin. Guys, like, subscribe, or at least press that like button on Facebook. We're here a couple of times a week. Money in the Bank is next week as well. Fans are coming back. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Trust me. Thank you for that, Quentin. Daniel, honestly, I don't care. But honestly, I don't see anyone beating Roman for a good while. Best bet is at Mania next year, and I have no problem with that. Keep the belt on Roman for a long time. I have no problem with that. It makes sense, and they're doing well with it. So why not? Why get the title off Roman now? It makes no sense, and keep it. If it's until WrestleMania, then so be it. Not a problem with that. Not a problem. Andrew, hope they can open up the draft to the NXT roster also so they can pull people in. I think that's what they're going to do. You know, we are getting more NXT guys on the shows now, so they might change it up. Maybe Corbin gets drafted to NXT, and that for him is like a big, it's like, uh-oh. So they might do that. Jorge, Drew cashes and then he gets stolen by The Miz. Oh, no. I like The Miz, but no, not again. And this brings us to, the main event. So the main event, Edge, Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, cameo appearances by Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. So Edge said earlier in the night that he was going to come out and he was going to call out Roman Reigns, and if Roman Reigns had the balls, he'd show up alone. Edge comes out, calls out Roman Reigns. Roman's backstage with the Usos and Paul Heyman, and he tells Jimmy and Jey, look, I got this. I'm doing this alone. They say, okay, and he walks out. He walks down to the ring. He's at ringside. We cut backstage. Jimmy and Jey say, this feels like a trap. So they go out. Roman's not happy. He tells him, look, I got this. I got this. And he gets in the ring. Edge and Roman fight. Out come the Mysterios with steel chairs, attack Jimmy and Jey. And essentially Rey, Dominic, and Edge have the upper hand for like the last minutes of the show, pretty much. They attack Roman. They attack Jimmy. They attack Jey with steel chairs. The whole bar. So Edge grabs a chair, breaks the bar off the chair, does the modified crossface thing, whatever he does. He pulls that off on Jey. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns is watching the entire time. So it was a good end to the show. And I tweeted this, and Daniel just mentioned it as well. This is your main event for next week. More than likely, we're going to get Roman Reigns with Jimmy and Jey Uso up against Edge, Dominic, and Rey Mysterio. I think we're going to get a big 6-man tag team match next week to main event the show. I think that's what we're going to get. Andrew, we could get 6-man for next week. There you go. Exactly. Jorge, not a main event, but a main event promo for 10 minutes. Yes. Well, I mean, it was the main event to close the show, but yeah, it was a promo to end the show. And Jorge also agrees. There you go. Probably setting up 6-man tag for next week. Daniel, face beating up the heels gang 2 weeks in a row. You know what that means. Edge is going to get an ass beating. I think Roman Reigns is going to come out next week by the end of the show looking even stronger than he looks now. I think we get Roman Reigns going absolutely apeshit next week. He loses it, beats up on Edge, and just looks like such a, the dominant champion that he is. I think that's what we get. Gills fan, it would be rare to see Edge and Roman wrestling on SmackDown. Yes. Yeah. Especially in front of fans. Finally. But I wouldn't say no to it. As much as I'm not a fan of this Edge and Roman feud, probably because we just got it like 3 months ago. I'm not a big fan of it, but I get why they're doing it. I guess they're kind of stalling until, Money in the Bank. And then I think we're going to get someone else feuding with Roman, or I hope we get someone else feuding with Roman. But yeah. Andrew, good question. You think we get the Usos versus Rey and Dominic at Money in the Bank? I'd be surprised if we didn't. I'd be very surprised if we don't get Jimmy and Jey up against Rey and Dominic at Money in the Bank. I think it makes the most sense. I don't know. I mean, it would be weird. Wait, no, they're champions, aren't they? Rey and Dominic are champions. There you go. So I think we definitely get it. Yeah, I think we definitely get it. Daniel, it's just a given for the go-home show. There you go, buddy. Exactly. Jorge, Money in the Bank, Edge and Roman DQ and sets up SummerSlam if done correctly. I don't want this Edge and Roman feud to span 3 months, though. That's my problem. Or 2 months. Even though it probably will. I hope not. Because I feel like Seth is going to get thrown into the mix somewhere and he's going to feud with Edge first. But you never know with creative. Daniel, at least we don't have a contract signing that turns into a brawl. We might get it next week. You never know. You might get it. Andrew, hearing could be Cena and Roman at SummerSlam. Yeah, so obviously there's been rumors the past couple of months, weeks, and obviously more so in the past couple of days that John Cena is locked in for SummerSlam. If it is, I don't see him going over Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. I think Roman has to beat Cena. I think it would give him so much more credibility. I think it would be a mistake to have Cena win, but you never know with creative, obviously. But I think Roman gets the win versus Cena at SummerSlam if that is what we get. Quentin, I hope the Roman Edge feud ends at Money in the Bank. I fully agree. I hope it ends up Money in the Bank. I hope we end up getting either Seth Rollins versus Edge or Seth Rollins versus Roman, although I feel like that's going to be safe for later on. Or like Andrew mentioned, we might end up getting John Cena, maybe thrown in there. However, Andrew would prefer to have Cena and Roman at WrestleMania instead of SummerSlam. So, again, we're talking a lot of names. We're talking Seth, we're talking Cena, we're talking Roman, we're talking Edge. So we're talking about 4 different names here. Who knows what they're going to do? There's still next week's SmackDown. There's still Money in the Bank. Jorge says Cena versus Roman with The Rock as special guest referee, and he ends up helping Cena. He ends up helping Roman. Look, that'll get them some views. That'll get them a lot of views, a lot of viewers, if they could manage to get Cena and The Rock both together at the same time. Even if it's for just 1 week or a couple of weeks, it'll boost their ratings. And we all know WWE is all about boosting the ratings whenever they could use old timers. Gil's fan, they should not have wasted Roman Cena at No Mercy previously. Wait, what? We got Roman Cena at No Mercy? I'm so... Now I'm confused. Did we get, guys, correct? I'm not saying Gil's fan is wrong, but correct me or correct Gil's fan. Did we end up getting Roman Cena at one point? Like recently? I can't remember. I truly cannot remember. Some time ago, yeah, Jorge? Okay. So Jorge, yeah, we did some time ago. Okay, because even Gil's fan says how many years was that? Okay, there you go. So sorry, Gil's fan, I didn't mean to doubt you. I wasn't doubting you, but even for me, I'm like, we've been in this whole pandemic thing for 1.5 years now, so I couldn't even remember. Daniel, Fantasy Booking 101, Cena beats Roman for the 17th title and the internet shits. We could get it, but I don't want Roman to lose the belt to Cena. I'd rather he keeps it for a little while longer. But if they want Cena to have that record 17 times, I mean, there's no bigger name in the company right now than Roman Reigns. Oh, all right. Gil's fan, that was 2017. That was 4 years ago. Oof, damn. 4 years ago. Yeah, but you know what? That was a different Roman Reigns, obviously. This character, in my opinion anyways, is much more entertaining than the Roman we got a couple of years ago with the Shield or even after the Shield. This one seems more just better overall. Daniel likes chaos. Daniel says he just wants outrage. So Daniel's one of those people that likes to see the world burn. I'm just messing with you, Daniel. I'm just messing with you. But definitely, if Cena were to beat Roman at SummerSlam or any time for the title, oh yeah, the internet would go crazy. Absolutely. All right. I think that was it for the show. I want to say that was it. Let's go through Andrew's comment here. Mania next, Cena versus Roman, then have Rock versus Roman at Mania in Hollywood in 2023 to see the true head of the table. There you go. Quentin, have Roman keep it a little bit longer, so when he loses it, it means so much more. Yes, and this is why I'd rather have him keep it for a little while longer and have him lose it to someone that maybe needs it, maybe like Big E, or I don't know, maybe Cesaro, but specifically Big E, instead of Cena, who doesn't really need the title. Gil's fan, exactly, would make it that much better. And Daniel, yeah, I got you. I know how you are. Oh my God. All right, guys. That was it for SmackDown. There wasn't much more. Next week's Money in the Bank. Next week we're getting a live crowd back, so hopefully that means something good, at least. I'm hoping. Andrew says, hopefully not Goldberg or Brock. See, there were rumors of Goldberg as well, so I just hope not. Brock, I don't know, man. No one could really know with Brock. Jorge, Hiroka, I gotta go with Italy. Soy hincha de la selección argentina. I'm a big Argentina fan. I can't cheer for England. Impossible. Gotta go with Italy, buddy. Cannot cheer England on. Cannot cheer England on. Got to be Italy. Hopefully. Fingers crossed it's not coming home. Not coming home. It's got to be Italy. But I think England wins. But I want Italy to win. Does Novak get number 20 on Sunday? Matt, I haven't been watching Wimbledon as much as I want to watch Wimbledon because I love Wimbledon. I haven't been able to watch it. I've missed so many freaking matches. So many matches. Andrew, Italy hates England. There you go, Andrew. Yes. Gills fan, no. It probably is, yes, but I hope not. Quentin, Italy, yes. Andrew, hopefully Argentina, Copa America, yes. Tomorrow is going to be a match where that will probably take like 40 years off my life. Tomorrow is going to be a match that's going to take 40 years off my life at the very least. It's Copa America final, Argentina, Brazil. But yeah. And anyway, it's not a football, it's not a soccer podcast. This is wrestling. So let's end this on a wrestling note. Next week, Money in the Bank. Next week, we're getting fans back. We have one more show without fans, and that's going to be Raw on Monday. Talking about Raw on Monday. Mike Tedesco, Victoria Tedesco, post Raw, live Raw, post show over here on YouTube. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Tune in on Monday, immediately following Raw. Mike Tedesco, Victoria Tedesco. Give them a watch. They watch Raw, so you don't have to. Trust me. They watch Raw, so you do not have to. All right, everybody. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. Love doing this. Love connecting with everybody and talking. If you enjoyed it, come on, guys. Hit the like. Hit the like button here. Hit the like button on Facebook. Subscribe. All that stuff. We're here on Monday. Mike Tedesco, Victoria Tedesco, as I mentioned, for the post Raw. All right, everybody. My name is Roy Nemer of Wrestleview.com, and thank you for watching, guys. Take care. Be safe, everybody. Bye.